You are listening to a Pod Bros exclusive.
Hey now, boys and girls, we are live with a brand new episode of Take Aim Outdoor Podcast, and it is a great pleasure to have this guy on the show today, and super excited to have the one and only Hollywood hunter, Freddy Harteis, on the show. Freddy, how you doing, man?
Brandon, I'm doing so great, bud. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak with you and share with all your viewers and just really do what we love best, talk about the outdoors. I love it.
Me too, absolutely. Speaking of which, Freddy, let's just get into that. What got you in the outdoors, and was it your childhood, or I know you came from Pennsylvania, which is a great hunting state, so elaborate a little bit on that.
Sure, bud. Yeah, it's. I really think the outdoors comes into all of our lives through other people, and for me, it was so special to have that bond between a father and son. Where my father, from the time I could walk, got me running around in the mountains, and he actually grew up on a farm where that was kind of his passion to be able to continue that. So he had purchased some farms in central Pennsylvania near the Harrisburg area, and from there I hit the ground running up and down these mountains, and it kept me out of a lot of trouble, and it taught me a lot of great values, and it was really a place where my father and I bonded and grew together and created some of the greatest life memories. I'll tell you, anyone that hasn't had a chance to be in the outdoors, it's something that I think we all long to give those people that opportunity. And to me, I was so grateful to have a father that got me into it from the time I could walk.
That is really cool, and I know that, which is really nice, that I've seen your dad on a couple of the Hollywood Hunter shows, so that's pretty cool that you guys still enjoy that time together.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for watching. And yes, I mean, it's been an amazing journey to create the memories and the life lessons and take all those things and have them for the rest of my life. You know, I had lost him a couple years ago, and through that process was obviously one of the hardest things I've dealt with. But I've been so grateful for all the lessons I've learned in the outdoors and the ability to be able to share those to the next generation as well.
Absolutely. I know that, Freddie, one of the reasons I wanted you on is I just believe you're such a good advocate and a, role model for the sport. And you do it in a manner that is very different than most of the guys we see. And I know I'll just back up a minute. The first time we haven't actually met, but the first time I ever saw you, I was straight out like, who is that guy? I was at ATA couple 5 years ago probably, and and this is a compliment to you, Freddie. Just the fact that you're different and you're not afraid to, wear some awesome camo pants, designer camo pants with some boots and a vest. And I just want to, again, congratulate you, because it takes a lot of strength to be different than the normal skull and t-shirt guy or the flannel guy at these shows. So where does that part of Freddie come from?
Well, I sure appreciate that. And, I've always been told, chase your passion, not your pension. And my passion has always been to kind of do what I love best, and that's the outdoors. And when I got into the industry 7 years ago, it was one of those things that I said, you know what, I'm going to be me. And some people will not understand that, and that's okay. But that is what makes me different. I had moved to Los Angeles about 9 years ago, and in the process of doing that, I didn't really know what I was walking into. But I ended up marrying the girl of my dreams, and led me to Los Angeles, where she is a fashion expert, and over time she had implemented some of these fashion trends and statements into my life. And I said, you know what, this is so cool to me, because I can merge two worlds together that one, when you put Hollywood and you put Hunter together, they just don't blend. So I wanted to really showcase who I've become. And the fact is, I'm a down-home country boy that loves the outdoors and will fight for our Second Amendment and will be an advocate for all the good that we can do and showcase the stuff that millions of hunters do daily and do that in a city that really doesn't understand it. So from the day I stepped foot into archery trade show or anywhere in this industry, I had a lot of questions asked about me, I'm sure, and I heard several of them. But to me, it was fun, it was interesting, and it was something that people were wondering, who is this crazy guy or this weird dressed guy, or he must be this, he must be that. And at the end of the day, people's perceptions are typically their truths until they get to know you. So it's been a fun ride the last 6-7 years in the industry for people to get to know who I really am and my heartbeat and my passion. And I guess to say it best would be the Harrisburg Hunter wouldn't have worked. I had to move to Hollywood to make this thing work.
There you go. Well, I mean that in all sincerity and as a compliment, that I know it takes great strength as an individual to follow your own path. So kudos to you, Freddie.
Well, thank you. That means so much. And I just admire and look up to so many leaders here in the industry, and seeing, all of you take your brands and take your visions and your passions and bring them to light and make good come out of it. So I'm just a small piece of this puzzle, but it's been such a fun journey to be able to rub shoulders with some of the people I've respected for years, and to be able to learn so much from an incredible industry.
Freddie, let's back up 8-9 years when you met your wife. How did that go over? Did you meet her out there or in Hollywood?
That's a great question. Well, at the time, I was living on the East Coast, and she was on the West Coast, and we had actually connected. I used to do a lot of different speaking engagements for a marketing company that my father built, and then I had grown and built with him for years. And that being said, she had come in and done a session with us, and I had happened to be there, and we connected and didn't think much of it. Besides, I knew this girl was very unique and very different in a good way, where it was nothing like I had ever met before. Someone that had a heart of gold and loved God first, and really focused on serving other people and having big dreams. And I said, you know what, this is the type of girl that I want to spend time getting to know. And as we did, it was 2 years of cross-country courting. And we had met up in about every city across the country. Every couple of weeks, her or I would be somewhere new, and we'd get a hold of each other and fly in and meet each other. And it was such a fun way of courting and getting to know each other. And we did it right. I mean, we always put God first. We always focused on doing the right things. And if this was really meant to be, then it would all come together, even though it was one of the most far-fetched fairy tale stories I could ever imagined. And that being said, 2.5 years later, Jeannie and I ended up tying the knot in Colorado at the Harteis Ranch. We had a Western Asian wedding, and it was quite a sight to see.
That's super unique. When did it come out, or when did you tell her, like, hey, I'm a huge outdoorsman, a huge sportsman, and this, how did that discussion go?
That's a really great question, because obviously Jeannie coming from California and her family being immigrants, she was the first generation that was born here in the States, and she grew up in Northern California, where, their thought process is a little bit different than the typical country boy hunter. But from day one, as Jeannie and I got to know each other, the outdoors has always been a great passion, and I knew if I was ever going to partner up and marry anyone, it was going to be someone that respected and appreciated what I loved in the outdoors, because it is really who I am. And it is one of the greatest passions I have in my life, and that really carry me forward through not only the great things, but then also the struggles. To be able to be in nature and just really feel God's presence, and to be able to reflect and look at, the just the broadness and the spectrum of how great, the outdoors really is. She really bought into that from day one, and in a great way, where she's always been one that loved eating meats, and as long as I did good with it, this was from day one. She said, Freddie, as long as you do good with it, I'm with you 100%. And for a girl that grew up in California and had built a incredible career here in Hollywood, obviously we all know that this is not a place that's celebrated for hunting or for shooting animals or for anything that we really believe in when it comes to guns and the Second Amendment, and it's like, this is really not the place to be if you're into that stuff. But it's been a beautiful merge, because when your passion is upfront and personal, and you're doing good with it, it's easy to stay on track, even amongst people trying to derail you. And having her support, and even being able to sit here in my office, and upstairs she would bring someone into the house at times that is totally in awe and struck in a bad way with the taxidermy and the merge of our two worlds together. And to hear her defend the good that we do is so humbling, and it's so exciting to be able to see her really see the good that comes out of the hunting industry. And I've really been on this passion in this forward thinking of showcasing and doing more and more things that are really going to evolve, showing the great that everyone does. Because I think a lot of times we apologize for the thing that we love the most, and that is the outdoors, when we should actually be standing strong and fighting for what we believe, because it is such a great thing.
Absolutely. Very well said. And I was just going to ask you that, because I know, just research-wise, Freddie, your wife has a very good job where she's kind of out in the public eye quite a bit, and I'm sure that you guys are out and about around town. How do you handle that when you get, kind of the stanky eye when somebody asks you what you do?
I actually enjoy it tremendously, because, what we need to realize as outdoorsmen and women is as long as we're doing good, how could anyone that does nothing be able to tell us what we're doing wrong? And what I mean by that is, we own, I'm blessed to be owner of the Harteis Ranch, and it's a family operation that we built from my dad on, and we've literally put our heart and soul and finances into this place to create it to be a world-class operation. And that being said, it's, we house some of the biggest mule deer in the country, and, just auctioned off a 200-inch mule deer tag at the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo for conservation. And I look at these little things that we're able to do and showcase from 20 years ago, whenever we bought this place, we barely saw a deer track, to now being able to shoot 200-inch deer every year free range. It's pretty amazing. But what people don't understand here in LA is okay, why are you killing animals, or you shouldn't be shooting animals, and that's so anti what we believe in. And I say, you know what, well, we all eat meat. Meat doesn't just show up at the grocery store. And we all talk about here it being organic. Where could you get something more pure than out there in the wilderness and doing it yourself? And especially when you do it yourself, it's something that you love that much more, and it tastes that much better, and the memories and everything that comes along with it. So when people see the animals on the mounts on my wall, they say, oh, I can't believe that. I said, well, do you realize the meat's been in the freezer and now being consumed by us? And it's one of those things that we do. We do what we call game dinners, wild game dinners here, where we educate and bring in people from all over the city that have never been around this. And I love hearing their questions, and love seeing some of them very offended and angry about what I do, and others that really buy into it and love it. But at the end of the day, when I find people that really don't understand, it's okay, because I think we become so much better as we spend more time with people that are diverse and have a little different way of thinking, because it really helps us become sharper on what our mission is and what we are really here to accomplish. So, for example, I had a guy recently that was up in arms about the idea of hunting in Africa and hunting lions and hunting Cape buffaloes and all this. And it was a recent dinner I had, and it started off with him asking me the question, what I do. And from there, I saw him kind of clam up and get a little bit more defensive and stand his distance. And that was at the time where I pull up a chair and get a little bit closer and speak a little softer and get him to realize that I'm trying to meet him at his level, but then also understand on my end that I can't relate with all these people. All I can do is tell them truth. If they believe it or not, that's their call. But as I do good, and as the millions of hunters out there do good and harvest their own game and eat their own animals and share that with communities, it's something special that we cherish, and it's where we all come from.
Yeah, that is very true. And I know that if you handle it the right way, Freddie, like you have probably done 100 times, they will give you an opportunity to be heard. And I think that's the important thing, is not to let our emotions take over.
Very true. Very true. I think that's a great way of putting it. Is you can never come down on people. You try to meet them at their level.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about the Hollywood Hunter TV show, and I know you got quite a crew behind that show that puts it together. So share with the listeners a little bit about that.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's been a real humbling journey. You know, I took off with the idea of Hollywood Hunter about 7-8 years ago with just a vision. I knew nothing about the outdoor industry. I had a chance a few different times of some unique TV hosts come out and film on my ranch in the past, and become friends with those guys. And that being said, it kind of opened up the idea of possibilities of getting involved, and I knew it was of interest to me, but never thought I'd really go there. And let's see, about 8 years ago, when I was in LA, and Jeannie and I were kind of figuring out our world together out here, and I realized one thing: I'm not a city guy. I am a total country boy. And that being said, if I was going to make my marriage work, if I was going to be able to really live a life of excitement and passion, it was going to be because I could get back into the outdoors. And coming from a unique situation where, you know, I was in a place where I could spread my wings and be on farms in Pennsylvania, and then grew up and had a ranch that we built, you know, in Colorado. I always had a lot of ground to be able to enjoy. And then living in the heart of the city in Hollywood, it was a whole different ballgame. So I kind of took off and said, you know what, I want to switch gears from a marketing company I was building to now building something within the outdoor industry, and knowing nothing about that. And oftentimes I get the question, how did you get started? I meet lots of people that want to be involved in the industry. And I say, you know what, really, if the passion's big enough, the facts don't count. Meaning, if you're excited about what you really want to do that much, you're going to figure out a way to do it no matter what people say or what the odds are. And that was kind of my situation. I realized that I wanted it that bad. And it was one of those things where it didn't matter. You know, I was in the process of researching different production options here in Los Angeles, and different cameramen, and sitting in the heart of so much talent here. I knew if I could eventually put that team together, we would be able to stand out. And as I took off from my vision to conception to reality of where it's become today, 7-8 years later, it's a whole different ballgame. And just from the beginning in conception, to know that really God's hand was in it, because the day I started looking into hiring a few different people out here and interviewing people, I got a phone call from a guy, head of production for ScentLock. And at the time, this guy had just retired and had called me and said, Freddie, I had worked with you in the past a few years back, and I've retired from where I am. And I talked to my pastor yesterday. He said, reach out to some people you respect and see if they have any interest in working with you in the outdoor industry. So that was the call I got the first day I was in the process of trying to build my team. And I had ended up hiring this gentleman, Aubrey, and in the process of that, he had helped me learn the industry. And it was a gift, because that was the greatest thing I could have received. It was someone to come in my life and teach me the ropes of how these trade shows worked and how the whole system kind of unfolded. And for me, it wasn't the idea of not being able to do everything I could, because I was going to outwork everyone I possibly could and do everything I knew to do. It's just I needed direction. So I had a very helpful hand my first year learning the system. And from there, it was a vision that I'll tell you, it took 7-8 years for me to create. And sitting here today, I'm so humbled. I'm so excited about where we're going. I'm so passionate about what we can do to impact the industry. And more than anything is being able to run with so many leaders that can teach me so much as we move forward as well. So Hollywood Hunter consists of many incredible people. I've been very fortunate. I mean, if anyone wants to go to HollywoodHunter.tv and see all the bios of my whole team, it's pretty unique, because I bring a lot of talent and a lot of new age thinking from Los Angeles, and it's been able to bless us with a nomination this year for Best New Show Intro for a Moose Award, and bless us with some opportunities that have been very unique and helped us stand out a little bit and get us to realize we're on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did notice that, Freddie, from the website, and that's what I wanted to ask you about. And that's neat that you have, a team like that with that kind of background, and it's neat to even hear how it changed from 8 years ago, and then, like you said, stuff fell into place for you.
Yeah, yeah, it really has, and it's one of those things. Luck is labor under the correct knowledge, or loser's excuse for winner's commitments, and we all hear it. It's like, how do you put the right team together? And oftentimes in life, that's what it's all about. Anyone that takes credit that they're the reason for their success, they're kidding themselves, because it's always an army of people. And when it comes to Hollywood Hunter Productions, I am such a small piece of this puzzle. I sit here so humbled when I bring my team together and we put our minds together and look at where we're going to go together, because together we do great things, and things are constantly evolving, and we've had to grow the team and shrink the team and replace members within the team. But right now, really my biggest passion is to have guys that we work with that are very passionate and that are consumed with what we do, because they'll give this thing 110%. And really, we ain't seen nothing yet with the team that we have in place and where we're going to go. It's to me, it's exciting. It's an incredible journey, and I just pray that the viewers enjoy what they see and can give us some great and bad feedback and everything in between, because to me, that's how we become good, and I'm very, very humbled by that, and I love that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Freddie, if you don't mind, can we talk a minute or two or a few minutes about the ranch in Colorado? I would just like to hear, just some details about, location, size, and what you guys got going on there.
Oh, I appreciate you asking. Yes, it's, I'll tell you, the Harteis Ranch was conceived in 1995. My father purchased a bunch of ground out there in right near the Sangre de Cristo mountain range, which are the 14ers, right there by the New Mexico border in Colorado. And we knew when that became a new stomping ground for our family that it was going to be a great thing. And my father was a real visioneer when it came to looking at a property or looking at things and making it what they could be. And I saw this place evolve over the last 17 years until I had lost him. And in the process of that, we had created some of the most incredible lifetime memories of hunting elk and mule deer and growing some incredible herds of deer and elk out there, and be able to manage it very well. And I think one of the greatest things I've learned in the outdoor industry and through my father had been always give back more than you take. Always look at doing so much good that people can only look at that. I mean, and that's what this is really all about. So the Harteis Ranch when I had over the last several years, Hollywood Hunter, from the time we really took off with that, the Harteis Ranch was sitting in such a unique place because we had world-class animals there, and it was such a premier place to film, and we wanted to do this together as a father-son deal, and we had 3 seasons of being able to film together and create memories, and to be able to put stuff together that not only are my nieces and nephews, but the next generation after that can see of their poppy, and it was just, it's so cool to be able to have this place and to carry it on, because to me, some of the greatest memories I've ever had in my life have been there. And to be able to see it's a place for leaders. It's a place for guys and gals across the country that want a premier destination to not only come out and stay in a beautiful place, but to see world-class hunting and see it at its best, and be able to do. We just opened up an idea 2 years ago of excursion weekends where we can now bring in corporate retreats or Christian-based groups or men and women across the country from the cities or country that really want a unique adventure out in the mountains. We've built these excursions. We've done this, and to me, it's so exciting to be able to give people a different light of the outdoors and to be able to experience it either through a hunt or not, and let them see why I love this place with all my heart. It's one of those places that you just feel a presence that is so unique, because it's just full of beauty. The ranch, before we had bought it, was named Rancho Bella Vista, which is Ranch of Beautiful Views. And it seems like every mountaintop that you crest or every valley you drive down in, it's just some of the most breathtaking views. And to me, that's what nature's all about, is being able to be just amused and amazed with its beauty, and just so humbled to have that slice of heaven to be able to share with so many people.
I will say, Freddie, that I've seen some footage and some pictures, and every time I've seen it, I've been like, I hope that I get to visit it one day, because it looks absolutely breathtaking. It really does. And kind of funny story.
I sure appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. But a funny story, Freddie, is I have a buddy that actually hunted with you this past year, and I got a text from him with him and a big giant elk, and a day or two later, you posted a picture of it, and I was like, holy cow, he didn't tell me you was hunting with Freddie at the ranch. I was super pumped and super excited, just a small world it is.
Wow. Can you mention to me who this is? I'm so curious to know.
It's Craig Stowarski from Bear.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, what a great leader of the industry, and what an incredible friend. And we definitely had a hunt to remember. It was incredible to be part of his experience and call in 4 bulls on the ground and watch him just whack one perfectly with his bear arena. It was awesome.
Yeah. That was neat. I was excited to get the text, and he's such a busy guy. He basically said, like, Colorado, and didn't say nothing else. And a day or two later, I just was grinning, kind of, that he was out there with you and had basically, I'm sure, a hunt of a lifetime.
He was such an incredible guy. I really enjoyed spending the week with him. And obviously the Bear team comes out to the Harteis Ranch every year, and they bring different leaders within the brand. And I'll tell you what a class act brand that is. I'm so amazed with the leadership within that company, and I'm so proud to be working with them and beside them to showcase just incredible product.
I will agree with you. Because of Craig, I've got to do some individual or one-on-one time with some of the people at Bear, and had a really good show this past summer with JR. We talked some bow fishing. I don't know if you know JR, but
yes,
we had a great show about bow fishing, and kind of passed on the word of Cajun and that brand, and how to get into bow fishing, and just the fact that they took the time to help grow the sport, I thought was amazing, and I couldn't agree with you more. Just a lot of class acts at Bear.
Yes, it's amazing. It
Wow.
Is. So, small world.
It is totally cool though. And so, Freddie, where can we find out about Hollywood Hunter, you on social media, and the Harteis Ranch?
Yes, the easiest place, and I appreciate you asking, the easiest places to find me are hollywoodhunter.tv is our website, which has all the latest and greatest, and we're in the process of updating all the new air times for this year and everything going on within 2016. You can find us on Instagram at The Hollywood Hunter, and you can find me on Facebook at Hollywood Hunter. And please check us out also at harteisranch.com, spelled HARTEISRANCH.com. I think you'll enjoy what you find. It's been a ton of fun, and would love to be able to share it with more and more individuals that really love the outdoors.
Absolutely. I know I've scoped it all out, and the websites are really nice, and I encourage everybody to go. And Freddie has a great Facebook following and Instagram page as well. So, Freddie, anything else to close the show? Did I miss anything?
No, Brandon, I just commend you for all your efforts, and I'm so proud of you with your successes as well. And just thank you for thinking of me with the Take Aim Outdoors and be able to be part of this. I mean, you're such a great advocate for the sport, and I'm so proud to be able to link up with you and to be able to do this. So thank you.
No problem. Freddie, stay on the line after I close this out. But guys and girls, as you know, every Tuesday you can find us live on the outdoorpodcastchannel.com, podbros.com, and obviously on Tuesdays, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn as well. So we will see you guys next week, and thanks again to our guest, Freddie.
Thank you. Amazing.